Warren, your approach seems so simple. Why doesn't everybody do it?
Well, I think partly because it is so simple that
From the humble beginnings of Warren Buffett selling gum and coke to reaching the pinnacle of financial success, Warren Buffett's life is a gripping tale that unveils two chilling lessons. First, making money is easier than you think. And secondly, working hard is overrated. Skeptical? Well, keep your eyes peeled because we'll be going through the easy principles that propelled the Oracle of Omaha to wealth, his killer mindset, and the ultimate levels of value that will shoot you through $0 to millions without any hard work at all. But before we begin, just think about it for a second. If the general notion that states that hard work begets success is true, then why do we see many unsuccessful people working hard day and night just to make ends meet? And why is it that managers and directors who earn the most only put in a fraction of the physical effort? Without mincing words, two things are certain in our modern world. Hard work is not enough to succeed. And secondly, there is more to success than simply working hard every day. Take Warren Buffett, for instance. He started making significant investments at the age of 10. By the time he reached age 30, he was valued at $1 million, equivalent to over $9 million when adjusted for inflation. But here's where things get pretty interesting. Warren Buffett's journey, marked by childhood side hustles, early stock investments, and mentorship from investing experts, culminated in the establishment of his own investment firm over 60 years ago. Throughout his life, he refined a conservative investment approach, prioritizing long-term value over short-term gains. And guess what? He achieved this without an 8-hour workday and countless shifts. And he didn't even get us started about the wasted hours in traffic. Still wondering why? Well, it's easy. He works smart, not hard. Guys, while both are tools we use to complete tasks, they are actually two completely different approaches. Hard work suggests an emphasis on spending longer hours on the grind, while smart work is all about finding better and more efficient ways to handle any endeavor. Think of it this way. Diamond is the hardest material in the world, right? As a matter of fact, a diamond is so hard that it is the only thing that can ironically cut itself. But where are we going with this? Well, if you were given a blunt knife to cut down a diamond, would you be able to? Certainly not. Working hard means putting in the time, effort, and energy into sharpening your knife just to cut through that diamond. Well, no matter how sharp it gets, you'll never be able to deliver that decisive strike because that's where the smart work comes into play. If you want to cut a diamond, you'll need another one. But sadly, many people don't know this. They keep making the mistake of sharpening their knives instead of finding an alternative solution. To address this, here's one of our favorite Warren Buffett quotes of all time. The business schools reward difficult complex behavior more than simple behavior, but simple behaviors are more effective. To maximize our opportunities in life, we need to work smart. But how do we do this? By changing how we think. One of our favorite success principles in life is what we call the 4 levels of value. Because, believe it or not, each and every one of us falls into one of these categories. And what are these 4 levels of value? The first of these is implementation, which represents the foundational tier of value, where we execute actions and engage in activities demanding physical effort or practical expertise. Our time is exchanged for monetary compensation, and our abilities and accessibility constrain our earnings. Under this level, we have workers, technicians, laborers, and more who earn the minimum wage but are sadly in the rat race. You see, even if they work as implementers for a top firm, there will still be a cap on their income, which is usually maxed out at around $80,000 a year, regardless of how hard they work at this level. Moving on, we've got the next level, called unification. This second-tier value is all about supervision. Yeah, these are the managers, the administrators, and the supervisors who guide individuals in performing tasks, coordinating their efforts to attain a shared objective. On the low end, unifiers earn above $40,000 and up to $250,000 if they're working in a top sector like aviation. Sure, it's a significant step up from the first level, but just like the implementers, unifiers are still crippled in one way or another. Some of them can't even afford to watch their kids' debut matches on their high school football teams. And to make things worse, no matter how much they earn, they won't be able to create generational wealth. However, the people who can all start with the third level of value: communication. Here, we share ideas, relay messages, and pass information that can influence the minds of others. The value being created at this level comes from educating and inspiring others. And the best part is that the income and flexibility are incredible. On the lower scale, you might earn $100,000 a year, while on the higher end, the potential could reach hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Selling cars, insurance, or real estate may yield around $1 million a year. However, if you're an A-list actor, singer, or renowned songwriter like Rihanna, your income potential could soar to $100 million a year. Last but not least is the level of imagination. It represents the highest tier of value creation, where individuals like investors, inventors, entrepreneurs, and artists conceive new ideas or innovations to address problems or meet needs. Here, creating value involves harnessing creativity and vision. And guess what? In this realm, income potential is boundless and limited only by one's capacity and influence. Up here, you can make $1 million a year on the low end and billions on the high end. And surprise, surprise, Warren Buffett is an amazing example of someone who has the highest level of value. To be like him, we've got to get to the place in our lives where we put our feet down and say we don't need to work harder to make more money, but rather smarter and higher. Because that's what it's all about, delivering more value. When you do that, you're going to see and hold more wealth. But of course, it's not going to be so easy. Remember what we told you earlier about mindsets? And how it's the biggest difference between those who are wealthy and those who aren't. In case you're feeling down about the fact that you haven't honed the sharp mentality yet, don't beat yourself up over it, because not only can you absolutely shift your mindset, but also the ability to do just that is just one thing that every successful person has in common. Guys, the fastest way to shift your mindset and propel yourself to success is to accept the fact that your thinking needs adjusting in the first place. At some point in our lives, we all had goals and dreams that didn't unfold as we hoped or expected. And when this happens repeatedly, we start to wonder what we need to change. But alas, we rarely look inward as the place to start making changes. We live in a skill set driven society that emphasizes learning new skills and improving the ones we're weakest at. This often fosters the belief that we need more education in order to achieve our goals. Some people go back to school, others join workshops, take part in seminars, or read books in hopes of finding that missing skill that will make everything fall into place. But the thing is that we are our own problems, and solving them must start with introspection before learning new skills. And guess what? The good news is that it is a lot less expensive and much faster to change your mindset than try to learn a new skill. And once you have that locked in, the next thing you need to do is increase your effectiveness. However, you might want to pay close attention because although there are two ways to do this, one of them is much better, and we'll tell you why. First things first, let's talk about the two ways to increase our effectiveness, with the first being to increase our efforts physically. Well, it sounds a bit cliche, right? Well, that's because it is. Like we said earlier, it makes no sense to work harder on a lost cause instead of finding creative alternative solutions to the problem. Picture this. Imagine being in a boat with a bucket, trying to bail out water as the boat is sinking. If the water is entering the boat faster than you can remove it, wouldn't all your efforts be in vain, no matter how diligently you work? There's a better way to increase your effectiveness, and that's by increasing your efficiency, which in other words means making sure that each measure of your input produces a greater output. But how do you do that? By shifting your mindset, just like we talked about earlier. Admit the areas that you need to improve on, and then sharpen your mind by reading books, learning from people who are ahead of the curve to either gain insight, skills, or knowledge that you currently have no idea about. Additionally, one of the things that we have come to realize is that regardless of what level of effectiveness you are operating on, there's always a way, a place, and an environment that we can make ourselves more effective by increasing your efficiency. And more often than not, it comes from surrounding yourself with people who are thinking at a higher level and can expose you to sensational ideas. Consider Warren Buffett as an example. Have you ever wondered why he said he wouldn't be as successful without Charlie Munger? Take a look at this.
The most important thing is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people. If you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And
in his annual letter to investors in the year 2000, the Oracle of Omaha wrote that Charlie thinks about business economics and investment matters better than anyone I know, and I've learned a lot over the years by listening to him. And he echoed this in 2008 when he said, Charlie has taught me a lot about valuing businesses and about human nature. Believe it or not, Warren Buffett's friendships with individuals like Charlie Munger and Bill Gates played a pivotal role in shaping his personal and professional life. These relationships not only created social bonds, but also a platform for intellectual exchange and shared ideas, fostering personal growth. Basically, our friends play bigger roles in our lives than we think. If you're friends with thieves, you're going to be one sooner or later. And if you're friends with billionaires, best believe you're going to be rich too. But that said, when it comes to being effective and making the most value, choosing a career that is aligned with our passion is the key to unlocking our fullest potential. Because when we love what we do, our enthusiasm becomes a driving force, fueling our commitment and determination. Here's Warren Buffett addressing this. Plus, a genuine interest in our work will lead to continuous learning and improvement, making us experts in our craft. This expertise will then become valuable, positioning us as indispensable contributors, and consequently translating into financial success. To illustrate this, how about a practical example to show just how much passion and the lack of it can lead to two starkly different career trajectories, using Annabelle and Esther, two young graphic designers. Annabelle, fueled by passion, leaves no stone unturned as she wholeheartedly works in her position. She embraces challenges, constantly seeks improvement, and creates innovative designs. On the other hand, Esther became a designer solely for financial stability. Without any passion, she performs tasks mechanically, often feeling unfulfilled at the end of every workday. Over time, who do you think is going to be recognized as a valuable asset to the company, gain promotions, and become her own boss? While we leave you to answer that, make sure you decide today how you will spend the rest of your lives and become the best possible version of yourselves that you can be.